What's up, everyone, and welcome back to EV Geek Studios and today's mini charge episode for Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. As you can see, I'm not in my normal studio today. I am on the road for my other job, but I'm excited for today's episode. So today's mini charge episode, we are going to be diving into the world of EV rebates. Yeah, I know they went away for a while, but the state of California has just kind of revived them. On our Monday episode with Chris Bow from Bow Family EV, Chris mentioned about the new EV incentives available in the state of California. Well, more details about these rebates and exactly who will benefit the most have been released this week. Governor Gavin Newsom just officially signed Senate Bill 168 into law, launching a brand new program called, quote, MyFirstEV. We're talking about an instant $3,500 cash rebate right at the dealership. But as the recent report points out, this isn't just a standard state rebate. Nestled deep inside this bill is a highly specific corporate loophole that creates clear winners and losers and draws a massive line in the sand between California's homegrown EV favorites and Elon Musk. Yes, very divisive bill. If you live in California or if you're curious how state politics could reshape the EV market, you may want to hear this episode. As always, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow button. Now, let's dive into the details around California's My First EV program. All right, let's start with the basics itself of the bill because the structure here is a complete departure from the way California used to handle the clean vehicle incentives. So if you remember the old clean vehicle rebate project, it was kind of a headache, at least for consumers there in California. You bought the car, you filed a bunch of paperwork, and then you sent it to the state and then sat around for months waiting for a check to show up in the mail. With the My First EV program, it scraps all that. This is a true on the hood point of sale discount. That means when you walk into a participating dealership later this summer, can't do this right away, the money is taken straight off the bottom line price before you sign anything. No waiting, no extra forms. So what are the exact ground rules? Well, first off, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's for first-time buyers of zero-emission vehicles. You'll sign a quick buyer's form confirming you haven't owned an EV before and you're good to go. And note the wording there, zero emissions. That means standard gas hybrids and plug-in hybrids do not count. This is strictly for pure battery electric cars. Second, for a brand new EV, you'll get $3,500 off as long as the car has an MSRP under $50,000. If you're looking at the used market, they got you covered too, offering a $1,750 discount on pre-owned EVs, priced at $25,000 or less. There's also a vehicle weight limit of 8,500 pounds to keep it focused on light-duty passenger cars, meaning commercial heavy-duty vehicles are out. But here is the most surprising and controversial change. There is absolutely no household income cap. For years, California has been aggressively means testing its rebates, ensuring that only lower to middle income buyers get the state cash. With My First EV, they completely flipped it. Rich, poor, or anywhere in between, as long as it's your first EV, you qualify. The only gatekeeper is, of course, that price of the car itself, which has to be under $50,000 new. Well, except for one massive, glaring exception. And this is where the story goes from kind of like a standard policy update to just absolute politics. While the bill mandates a strict $50,000 price cap for the vast majority of EVs out there, the text includes a hyper-specific clause. The $50,000 price ceiling is waived entirely if the vehicle is built in an EV-only by an EV-only automaker that is officially headquarters in the state of California as of January 1st, 2026. So let's talk about what that means in the real world. This rule was custom tailored to benefit exactly two companies, Rivian, based out of Irvine, and Lucid Motors, based up in San Francisco Bay Area. Right now, if you look at the lineups for Rivian and Lucid, they are premium luxury brands. Their vehicles aren't cheap. Rivian's current R1 lineup starts at around $58,000, and the Lucid Air Luxury sedan starts around, upwards of $70,000. So under normal rules for this program, neither of these brands would see a single dime from this program because their price tags sail right past that $50,000 limit. But because of the headquarters loophole, a wealthy buyer can walk into a Lucid studio, buy a $70,000 plus Lucid sedan, and get a $3,500 discount paid for by the state. Now, you're probably not hearing a name in that. And you're probably wondering who gets left out in the cold. Well, that's Tesla. So Tesla used to be California's company, but back in late 2021, Elon Musk famously packed up the corporate bags and moved Tesla's official headquarters to Austin, Texas. Because Tesla's corporate flag flies in Texas, they do not get the price cap waiver. If you want to buy a Tesla in California using the new rebate, you are restricted strictly to the base configuration of the Model 3 and Model Y that both sit under $50,000. Sorry, no premium Model Y or Cybertruck. Zero rebate for you if you want those two cars. The framing of this is kind of impossible to ignore. We all know the political friction between Governor Newsom and Elon Musk has been playing out in public for years, and it feels like a direct legislation counterpunch that the state of California has imposed. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, wow, this sounds like an amazing deal, I'm going to grab a Rivian R1T tomorrow, you'll need to know how this program is being funded because there is also a massive catch in that. California allocated $135.5 million from its state budget for this initiative, pulling cash from its cap and invest revenue and smog abatement fees. But the state isn't footing the whole bill. In order for the rebate to work, the participating automaker have to match the state's funding dollar for dollar. They have to pony up half the cash out of their own pockets. That brings the total pool of savings to about $270 million. But here's the thing. Once that finite pool of money runs out, the program is done. The California Air Resource Board has already made it clear, and these dollars are strictly first come, first serve until the funds are entirely exhausted. So it's a race against the clock. And this funding mechanism highlights a massive, deeply ironic paradox in the bill's logic, which Fred Lambert pointed out over at Electric. The state is defending this headquarter exemption by claiming it's designed to protect in-state jobs and reward local businesses. But let's look at where these cars are actually built. Lucid Motors executes their final assembly in Arizona. Rivian manufactures its electric truck and SUV in its factory in Normal, Illinois. Meanwhile, Tesla, who is exempt from that $50,000 threshold, the company being penalized by this price cap still runs a massive Fremont factory right in the heart of California, employing thousands of local automotive workers and building hundreds of thousands of cars on California's soil every single year. So, California is essentially rewarding companies for where they execute or their boardrooms sit, rather than where the actual blue-collar manufacturing jobs are located. It turns out what should be an environmental and affordability program into a highly controversial political statement. Industry analysts are already whispering that this structure practically invites a major legal challenge from Tesla. And honestly, looking at the wording, Tesla might have a very solid shot at winning it in court. So the big takeaway here is that California is trying to single-handedly breathe life back into the consumer EV market after the federal government dropped the ball. The MyFirstEV program is a clever, aggressive point-of-sale discount that will absolutely put more keys into the hands of first-time buyers later this summer. But by wrapping it in a political game and targeting corporate headquarters instead of actual manufacturing plants, the state has guaranteed a wild, messy rollout. CARB, which I mentioned earlier, is the California Air Resource Board, is still finalizing the exact dealer agreements as we speak. And they say the official launch details will drop next month. If you're a Californian looking to buy your first EV, keep your eyes peeled because when this pool opens up, that cash is going to vanish fast. So, I want to hear from you. If you live in California, does an instant $3,500 off make you want to finally pull the trigger on an EV? And if you think about that headquarters loopholes, is it fair game or did the state go too far to stick it to Tesla? All right, everyone, that's your mini charge episode for today. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap that notification icon so you are alerted when new content drops. Also, give our video a hype on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio podcasts, hit that follow button and leave us a comment. It really helps our show grow. Thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, stay charged and stay geeky. So long, everyone.